We know the name, Newton. It's synonymous with genius, with gravity, with an apple. But the man was a shadow, a secret. To understand the mind that defined our universe, we must first understand the boy who was broken by the world. He was born on Christmas Day, 1642, a premature child in a cold English farmhouse. He was so small, they said he could fit in a quart mug. He wasn't expected to survive the night. His father was already dead. Then, at age 3, the second abandonment, his mother, Hannah, remarried, and left him with his grandmother, and a void of cold fury that would shape his entire life. This was not a social child. He was solitary, silent, his hands always busy, carving intricate models, sundials, measuring the world that had rejected him. In the schoolyard, he was a target, bullied, weak. Until one day, a kick too far ignited the spark. Newton didn't just fight back, he decided to destroy his rival. Intellectually, he would become the top student. It was not a quest for knowledge, it was an act of vengeance. His mother wanted a farmer, but while he was meant to be watching the sheep, his mind was calculating the wind. He built miniature mills, water clocks, entire worlds hidden in his attic, concealed from a family that saw only a failure. Cambridge was his escape. He arrived at Trinity College in 1661, but he wasn't there to make friends. He was there to consume. He devoured the works of the new philosophers, and waited. He was waiting for a spark. Instead, the world got a plague. In 1665, the Great Plague, London emptied, the university shut its doors. Newton, now 23, was forced back to the one place he despised, the farmhouse at Woolsthorpe. He was in isolation, alone, and in that solitude, for 18 months, his mind exploded. He bought a simple glass prism at a fair. In his darkened room, he turned a single beam of sunlight into the secrets of the universe. He proved that white light was not pure, but a violent, beautiful mixture of every color. He had unraveled the very fabric of light. He needed a new language to describe the motion he saw. When mathematics failed him, he simply invented his own, the method of fluxions. Today, we call it calculus. And then, the apple. The story is a myth, but the truth is far greater. And then, the apple. The story is a myth, but the truth is far greater. And in one moment of shattering insight, he asked the question, why does the apple fall, but the moon does not? What if they are both falling? What if the force pulling the apple to the earth is the exact same force keeping the moon in its orbit? It was a single idea that unified the heavens and the earth. In 18 months of forced solitude, this one man had invented modern physics, optics, and mathematics. The world was shut down, but Isaac Newton had just built a new one. And what did he do with this universe-changing knowledge? He hid it. For 20 years, Newton was pathologically terrified of criticism. And his terror had a name, Robert Hooke. Hooke was the curator of the Royal Society. A brilliant, jealous man who accused Newton of stealing his ideas. The accusation wounded Newton to the core. The world would have lost it all, if not for one man, Edmund Halley. The astronomer traveled to Cambridge, begging Newton for his calculations. Newton casually replied, "Oh, I solved it years ago. I just can't find the papers." Halley, stunned by the genius locked in these notes, dragged Newton from his shelf. For 18 months, Newton wrote, day and night, in a frenzy of creation. When the Royal Society refused to pay, Halley, a man of modest means, paid for it himself. He bankrupted himself for a book he knew would change humanity. In 1687, the Principia Mathematica was published. It is, quite simply, the most important scientific book ever written. It gave us the laws of motion. It gave us gravity. It gave us the rules of the cosmos. And Newton, he never forgot his enemies. When Robert Hooke died, Newton, now president of the Royal Society, had his rival's only portrait removed and lost forever, an act of cold, final revenge. But the Principia was only one side of his mind. The other was steeped in shadow. We see him as the first scientist. He saw himself as the last magician. Behind a hidden door, Newton built a secret laboratory. He was an alchemist, spending decades obsessively searching for the philosopher's stone. to turn lead into gold. He worked in secret, inhaling toxic mercury fumes, which likely triggered the nervous breakdown that left him paranoid and trembling. He wrote over 1 million words, not on physics, but on occult theology, trying to find hidden codes in the Bible, calculating the exact date of the apocalypse. This was the duality of Newton, the rational mind that calculated the cosmos, and the mystical mind that sought God's hidden plan. But his alchemy failed. His prophecies remained unfulfilled. He burned the notes. A lifetime of secret obsession turned to ash. A genius, utterly alone with his failures. After his breakdown, he abandoned science. He sought a new life, a new kind of power. He moved to London and became Warden of the Royal Mint. This was no desk job. It was a war. The currency was in chaos. So Newton, the ultimate empiricist, attacked the problem. He disguised himself, going undercover in the taverns and back alleys of London. He became a detective, a ruthless hunter of counterfeiters. He personally interrogated and prosecuted dozens of criminals. He showed no mercy. He sent the notorious King of the Coiners, William Chaloner, to the gallows. This was Newton in his final act, a figure of immense power. He ruled the Royal Society with an iron gavel. He was knighted by the Queen. The outcast boy from Woolsthorpe had become the most celebrated man in England. He died in 1727, a legend. He was buried like a king in Westminster Abbey. A man who began with nothing, who was abandoned and broken, was now laid to rest among royalty. But his true resting place is the universe he defined. He didn't just see an apple fall. He saw the invisible architecture that holds the stars together. He gave us a universe, not of chaos, but of order. And in doing so, Sir Isaac Newton became immortal.
Join our pursuit of knowledge. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Then tell me, who's next?